He did well in his first fight, even though he didn't have much experience. He only had a few amateur fights before turning pro, so for me, I'm satisfied with his performance. We were expecting more, but it was still a good experience for him to have his first professional fight. I told him earlier that it would not be easy, that professional boxing is very different from amateur fights, sparring, or training, especially since it was his first time. Now I am sure he learned a lot from this fight. As a fighter, whether he proved his point or not, he has his own decisions, and I cannot stop him if he wants to continue boxing. What I can do is guide him and give him more strategy and knowledge, because I always tell him boxing is not easy, you need to work hard and make real sacrifices. His opponent even said he hits very hard and that he is retiring from boxing after this fight. Whether he meant it or said it on camera, it shows how tough the match was. Now that he's a professional, and after hearing his father's warnings about how difficult this sport is, he can truly feel the difference. He realizes that he could have pushed harder in preparation. With only about 10 amateur fights, this was a big step up, and now that he has experienced it, he knows that next time he will work even harder. Heading into the fight with a newborn baby was tough. My baby is only a week old, and leaving them so soon was really hard, but still, no excuses, I could have done better and I will do better next time. My mother was crying ringside, and I know she has always wanted me to stop boxing, so poor Jinky must have been close to a heart attack. I'm used to it, though. She has always been nervous, even during my first amateur fight and after that. Manny said he sat quietly in his seat with an unexplainable feeling, wanting to shout instructions even though he knew I wouldn't hear him. It was a good experience for me, finishing 4 rounds in my first professional fight, especially since I don't have much amateur experience. Manny said he was satisfied with my performance, though he believes I can do even better. As for the result, Manny said the judging was fair, and a draw made sense because my opponent was also throwing punches. The whole experience was different from a normal pro debut. The cameras, the attention, it was overwhelming, but it made me grow. I was nervous when the crowd started coming in, and when they opened the doors, I thought, wow, there are so many people here. It was a challenge, but it was also fun, and I really enjoyed being out there. I had to tune everything out and focus only on my opponent, not the crowd. I expected a big audience, but this was even more than I imagined because it was the largest crowd I've ever been in front of. Sellouts are rare in boxing, but with the Pacquiao name, good fights, and hard work, it was expected. Nothing in life is easy, but when you have a strong brand and great performances, things come together. As for getting back in the gym, I'll see when the next fight is, because I have a lot of things to work on. Manny said he wants me on his undercard so he can supervise my training and push me harder, though he won't spar with me. He just wants to guide me and watch me during training. For him, this fight was nerve-wracking. It was his first time feeling this way, wanting to shout instructions, but staying quiet because he couldn't control what was happening. One beautiful thing about boxing is how relationships evolve. Before the fight, Manny and Antonio Margarito met, and despite once being rivals, they are now friends, showing how respect grows beyond old conflicts. My opponents are never personal to me. I'm just doing my job to entertain the fans, and that's always my first concern when I step into the ring. He's a nice guy too. As for Mayweather, you never know what 2026 might bring. Anything can happen. There are also plans for more MP Promotions events in Los Angeles, and Manny would love to hold more cards at Pachanga. He's in talks about doing a full series next year, similar to what Fantasy Springs has, and they're hoping to promote a World Championship event here in California as well. Mark Magsayo is fighting in a world title eliminator, and that's exciting for MP Promotions. When asked how it feels to be a dad, he said it's good, new, and difficult at first, but he loves his daughter deeply. Manny, when asked for advice about fatherhood and how it feels to be a grandpa, joked about looking like one but shared that he has always taught his children that life is not easy. Becoming a father means guiding your child every day, showing them the right path, respecting others, and staying humble. Later, Jim was asked how he felt walking out to the ring, and he said it was all new to him. He didn't expect so many people. Even though he had seen the crowd gathering in the casino, it still felt different once he walked out. It was tough, but he enjoyed it and had fun despite the pressure and nerves. The experience was completely different from the amateur fights I've had. Once the bell rang, all the nervous energy shifted into focus, and I knew I had to do my job. It kicked in right, beginning when he came at me aggressively, but I was ready and gave it my all. He was tougher than I expected. I couldn't hear the instructions being shouted, like use your jab, because the whole place was too loud. Manny said it was his first time seeing me in the ring without headgear, and he felt his muscles shaking, his heart racing, and emotions he couldn't explain. He wanted to shout instructions but stayed quiet. When asked if he wants to see me fight again, he said it's up to me, but if I continue, he will supervise my training himself because he knows I learned a lot from this first professional experience. For me, the mission is simple: improve every fight and see how far I can go. Each match is a lesson, and I'm definitely fighting again. Some people like the noise and the excitement more than the ring itself, but I enjoyed being in there. The challenge, the pressure, and pushing myself in what I believe is the toughest sport in the world, and we'll see what happens. I thought I won the first 2 rounds. I landed a lot early, but I had to score the draw. As the fight went on, he began roughing me up, and it affected me more than I expected. I was caught off guard. The 4th round felt like championship rounds, and I definitely felt I had to do more, so I told myself to bite down, stay in there, and try to outslug him. He has the mentality of a fighter, and yes, he can fight again, but I will supervise his training closely because I don't want the same issues to happen again. He needs to improve his instincts and his focus on his opponent. This is a lot for a first fight. Nobody gets all of this in their debut, but it's valuable experience. If it happens again in future pro fights, at least I'll know what to expect. My advice is to take your time, pick opponents wisely, and enjoy the process. Thank you, and God bless.